welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new here. And if you are new here, my name is Lydia and I'm a stay-at-home mom to my 3 kids, and I'm married to the love of my life. We've been married now for almost 13 years, and I just do all the mommy life things on this channel. Cooking, cleaning, decorating, money saving tips, thrifting, thrift me hauls, shop with me hauls. I like to do some shop with me. So those are things you're interested in. I would love to have you stick around and join my channel. So today we're going to be going over things I've learned over the years of how to make spring cleaning easier. I know with our busy lives as moms, it's really hard, especially if you work a full-time job or if you're a stay-at-home mom. It's still really hard to find time to spring clean our homes and to do the extras and things that we want to do. And so I'm not a professional by any means, but I have learned over the years of being a wife and a mother for going on 13 years now, of just things that make my life a little bit easier. Just do little bits at a time. And you've probably heard this before, but I break mine down into sections of things that I want done. Okay, so I always start my spring cleaning from the floor, from the ceiling to the floor. So I will start at the top of my room and work my way down. And I know that sounds overwhelming. And for me, it was overwhelming for years because I would always just try to tackle a whole entire room from top to bottom on the same day. And that just overwhelmed me. The rest of my house would become a catastrophe while I was doing this one room. And so I learned real quickly that that just was not working for me. And so a few years ago, I started implementing these tricks over the years. And they have really helped me be able to do spring cleaning without getting completely overwhelmed and my house becoming a catastrophe, the rest of my house, while I'm working on one area. So something I have learned to do is, like I said, we're going to start from the top to the bottom. Okay, so if we're going to start from the top of our room to the bottom of our room. Okay, so I'm going to make me a list. I will start in my ceilings. And I'm going to show you how I dust my ceilings, because if you have popcorn ceiling like we do, it gets dusty. And it gets like little dust particles in it, especially around where the fans are. But dust just kind of builds up around them. So I always do my ceilings. And I will show you a trick that my mom taught me years ago of ways to dust your ceilings. And so I will show you that. Okay, for my ceilings, I just take my broom and I add like a pillowcase, whatever pillowcase, old pillowcase. And then I just take a rubber band and put it around the bottom of it so it's not sliding around while you're doing it. And then that's just what I use to get the dust off of my ceilings. Especially around, like I said, fan areas and stuff, it gets really dusty. And if you have cobwebs, we have spiders really bad because we live near the woods. So it's a good time to do like all the cobwebs in the corners and stuff. I don't know if you really can tell it, but do you see all those dust particles on the popcorn ceiling? And over there, there's some like, looks like cobwebs. See, that's just from my ceiling. I only did one, and you can see how dirty. All right, and then after we do our ceilings, I will work on our light fixtures. So if you have a fan in your room, if you have just a regular light, or like in your dining room, kitchen, where you have like chandeliers or, you know, whatever, light fixtures, we're gonna do that. And what I would suggest you doing is, see, I have my ceilings. I have all the ceilings listed on my list here that I have of every room that I need to do the ceilings in. So one day, just take that and say, okay, I'm going to dust all the ceilings in my house today. So then we're going to go on to the light fixtures, like I said. Now, what I like to do is write down all the light fixtures in my home, all the fans in my home. And then I sit down and I write like a check, put a check mark beside each one. And I will say, hey, maybe one day I have a little extra time, I'm going to hit some light fixtures, some fans. So hit that day, do as many as you can. If you can't get them all done, fine. Get as many as you can in your day and just do light fixtures that day. If you want to take the globes off and wash them, wash the fan blades, wash around the fan, wash if you have, like I said, light fixtures in your kitchen or anywhere else. I don't know if you have those ones that go like up against the ceiling. They tend to get a lot of like bugs and stuff in them. Go in and, you know, take those out and stuff like that. And I'll show you a clip of where I was doing that and how horrible my fan is in my bedroom. check off, hey, that one's done in my room. And then I'll be able to go to the next one. And if you can get 2 or 3 fans done in a day, great. If you can't, you can get one done. Hey, one's done. At least you can check that one off of your list and it makes you feel better. All right, and so then I will move on to my curtains. Like I like some of them I do not wash. Some of them I'll just like tumble dry to get the dust out of them. But some of the ones that I can wash, I will go ahead and take down the ones that I can wash them. And if you can wash them all in the same load, great. Hey, you've got all your curtains done. And there's ones where you just have to hang them and let them dry, or you put them in the dryer. However you do that, I would highly recommend, if you have ones that you can dry them and make sure you get them out, while they're still warm, and that will help on wrinkles. You won't have to iron every single curtain. So that helps. That's a little trick to do that. And also, if you are going to do all your curtains in one day, then that's great. But if you can't, say, hey, I'm going to wash the curtains in 3 bedrooms today. That's, my goal is take all those curtains down, wash them, dry them, and hang them back up. And then you can check that off your list. All right, and then next we're going to move to walls. And I'm going to show you something that I've learned that is great for washing walls. I have a bad back, so it's really hard for me to do like a full day of washing walls. It's hard. But I'm going to show you something that I've learned over the years that helps me a ton. And it goes so much faster because you can go from top to bottom standing right here on the floor. So I just use my O-Cedar mop, and I can stand on the floor and do this. I'm only 5'4", and I can reach my crown molding. I can also clean my baseboards while I'm at it. And it's great, so I don't have to get up and down on like a stool or something, where before I would have to do that because being only 5'4", I was not reaching the top of the wall. So this is definitely a game changer. If you start doing this, you'll never go back to doing it the old way again. All the walls in every single room of your house in one day, which most of us probably don't have the time to do that. Say, hey, today I'm going to do 3 rooms. The next day I'll do 3 rooms. Just allot little times throughout your week to tackle some of these extras, but don't feel like you are overwhelmed when you say, oh, I've got to clean a whole entire room. I've got to clean every single light fixture today. No, if you get one thing checked off of your list, you get one thing checked off. That is enough. That is enough. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't think that you have to do more than you have to do because, you want to get everything checked off your list. It's not feasible. It's just not feasible for us as moms to be able to do everything that we would like to do on top of what we're already doing. So, all right, next, we're going to work on windows. If you have 30-something windows in your house and you say, hey, I'm not going to be able to get to 30-something windows today, that's just not a possibility for me. Okay, well then you write on your windows. Okay, I've got 5 rooms that have windows, or 6 rooms, 7 rooms, whatever. You write down each room and how many windows is in there, and then you tackle those. Start tackling them. If you can only do 2 a day, I say, hey, today I'm going to do 2 in my bedroom. Tomorrow I'm going to do 2 in my bathroom. The next day I'm going to do such and such. And then you can even mix them up. If you want to do all the blinds in your room and your windows and your curtains and just whatever works for you. I'm just telling you what works for me. I work better if I have small things to work on. If I have this size list of stuff to try to get done, it will overwhelm me and I will not ever do it. So it just helps it to break it down into little bits and then just tackle it little bits at a time. You'll see here in a minute, I tackled my kitchen and I only got to do a few cabinets, and that's fine. Okay, all the drawers are cleaned out for this area. It's really great if you just say, okay, I'm just going to focus on one little area a day to work on, because as you can see, it becomes quite a catastrophe really quick. If I try to tackle my whole kitchen, it would be a whole day process and then I wouldn't get anything else done. So if you have a lot of other things you've got to do in your day, I would highly recommend just taking a little section at a time and working on it. I have this large stack of cookbooks that I've had forever. Some I got for wedding gifts, some I just bought. This one here is really neat. It has a lot of like recipes and then like little gift ideas for Christmas. But I just have not gotten these out. I probably have not touched these in like 2 years. They have been in my cabinet and I've never once looked at them. So I feel like if they've been in there that long, I really probably don't need them. I just go to Pinterest for pretty much anything nowadays, probably like most people do, for recipes and for crafts and DIYs and stuff. So I just don't see a point in keeping all of these and not using them. So we're going to get rid of all these and that'll make a little more space in my cabinets. So I'm selling these on Facebook Marketplace, and then I also have this pile over here of stuff I'm getting rid of. There is some things over there, but it's Christmas stuff that was in my cabinets. I got to put up in the Christmas boxes. But the rest of this is what I'm getting rid of out of those cabinets. Kind of person, when I have a list of things that need done, I want to get that list done and I want to get it out of the way. But it's just not realistic for us as mamas to overwhelm ourselves with things that are not necessary when, feeding our kids and taking our kids and, doing all the other things that we have to do as moms throughout the day. That just doesn't come high priority. So it's not. You place it where you have time, a little extra time to do something. Some time where you're sitting there scrolling on your phone. Hey, you can take that time. You can wash a few windows and you can mark some things off your list. So that's just what I've learned to do that. So I will do my windows and my blinds next. And then furniture. Like, I really like to move out my furniture, especially in this room because it gets so bad dusty. I like to move out the furniture, dust, sweep, mop, and if you're not gonna move your furniture while you're doing your walls, when you move your furniture out, just wash the walls that are behind your furniture while you're doing that. However you want to do it. If you want to wash all your walls and pull out your furniture as you're doing that, that's fine too. Just do whatever works best for you. But for myself, I will usually just wash the visible walls. And then when I go to start pulling out furniture, I'll go ahead and wash them and mop the floor. I already have my mop out. As you saw, I used my O-Cedar mop to wash the walls. So I already have my mop out to mop the floors. And so it's no big deal to just wash behind the furniture as well. I also like to wash down my furniture. It too gets dusty, fingerprints, gunk all over them. So I like to try to do that as well while I'm cleaning the furniture. So if I'm pulling it out, I'm also going to, wash it. Thing would be, if you want to, like if you have dressers in your room and you're pulling them out and you want to go ahead and go through them and de-junk them, then go ahead and do that. Or you could set that for a whole separate day. Don't worry about doing it. Just say, hey, today I'm going to pull out all my dressers, clean behind them, and wash the outsides. Tomorrow I'll tackle the drawers and de-junking and all that stuff. So whatever, like I said, works best for you, but that's just how I do it. I usually tend to pull everything out, wash the outside stuff, and then the next day, hey, I'll tackle all the drawers. And that's a pretty big project if you have a lot of dressers, especially if you have them in multiple rooms. So like I put on here, you know, dressers, the dresser drawers, and I'll put like my room, my kids' rooms, things like that. And then I have some drawers in my TV stand. So I'll kind of tackle that as one. That is all my dressers, is what I would call it, in drawers. So I will tackle those. All right, so if that, like I said, that could be a whole separate time. Mainly we're talking about pulling out furniture, dusting, mopping, washing walls, you know, sweeping underneath your beds. Your beds are not getting pulled out often. So you pull them down a little bit, you know, sweep under them, mop under them, help, you know, control some of that dust and things like that. Get stuff that's been shoved under there, whatever. All right, so then pull out furniture, you know, mop behind them, floors, all that stuff. And then baseboards, you can do that while you're pulling out stuff. If it's not ones that are visible that you can do while you're doing your walls, honestly, I do them while I'm doing my walls if they're visible things. But if they're behind furniture and stuff, just do that whenever you pull out your furniture. Count that towards your cleaning out your furniture. Then I had a couple things that I wanted to do. If you're like me, you have a running list of things that you want to do to update things and stuff like that. And so all of my vents are very old, and I could probably go buy some new ones, but I have some spray paint I can use already on hand. So it just saves me a little bit of money. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull all those up because they're just rusty and yucky looking. And I'm going to spray paint all those. I'm going to wash them down and then spray paint them. And so then next, if you want to, pick one day to wash all your linens in your house, which most of us do that on the weekly anyway. But take all of your linens out and wash them, wash pillow covers, you know, pretty pillow covers and things like that. And then if you have a headboard, I like to clean that when I'm cleaning up my my bed. And I also like to do I like to sprinkle baking soda on my mattress and let it soak for a little, let it sit for a little while, and then I'll take a vacuum and vacuum that all up really good. And I like to do that when I spring clean. So that you can do that to all your beds if you are able to do that on a day. So that just, you mark that off your list whenever you get those done. And then, like I said, headboards. And then we're getting close to the bottom of your room. So then I will do clean carpets. If I have rugs in a room, I have a rug in here, I have carpets through a good bit of my house. And then I also have a rug in my dining room. So I will carpet clean all of those. Mark each room that you have to do the carpet or the rugs on, and then just check them off as you go, you know. All right, and then next, I like to do closets. I'll go through all of my closets, de-junk, declutter, clean out, if you can do it. That's a good time to, if you've got to paint inside your closets and stuff like that. So I try to do that, and like I said, that is overwhelming to me. Closets are overwhelming. Especially if you have several of them. It's overwhelming to do all of your closets in one day. Don't even try it. Don't even think that you're going to be able to do it all in one day. Just say, hey, maybe I'm going to tackle 2 closets today, or I'm going to tackle 2 cabinets today. Whatever works for you, you do that. All right, and then also your bathrooms, of course, do a good deep clean on your showers, your tubs, things that you normally wouldn't, you know, do on a daily, you know, weekly clean or whatever. And so that's pretty much it for my list. I will link my list in the description box. I might be able to figure out how to do a printable list if that helps you any of the areas that I like to do. But if not, I will just do in the description box kind of how I make up my list, because I can show you on here, but you wouldn't be able to read my writing. I actually may type it and show it. But anyway, if not, I'll put it in the description box how I make up my list, and do the little check marks beside it so I can check off stuff as I'm getting it done and feel a little bit more accomplished. All right, I want to share this with you, and the passage of scripture was in 1 Samuel 16, verse 7, and it said, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." And the little devotional that went with it says, "Sometimes I wake up in the morning feeling a little grumpy. Time to do it all again. I'll buy food that gets eaten. I'll wash clothes that get dirty again. I'll sweep floors that will somehow need to be swept again before the day is even done. It is more to all this than just doing the task of everyday life. One day, before I jumped into the normal routine, I sat with Jesus and I found some big truths as I read my Bible and took a little glance into David's life. Despite how others saw him, his own tendency to sin and lack of position in his own family, David had the sweet reassurance of God, and that was enough. Overlooked by everyone else, handpicked by God. To his older brothers, David was young, possibly even a pest. To his father, Jesse, he was just another son. To onlookers, he was a mere shepherd boy. But to God, David was the one destined to be king of Israel, and not just any king. He was from the bloodline from which Jesus would come. Overlooked by everyone else, handpicked by God. Even the way David was anointed to be the future king is a telling story. In 1 Samuel 16, God reveals to Samuel that he rejected Saul as king and chosen one of Jesse's sons to be the replacement. Think of the list of qualifications that must have run through Samuel's mind for such a position. Tall, smart, articulate, brave, well-groomed, well-mannered, a natural-born leader. Samuel saw some of these characteristics in Eliab, David's brother. The Lord said to Samuel, "Do not consider his outward appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." The Lord does not look on the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Samuel had Jesse line up all of his sons before him. All of them were to be considered, yet Jesse didn't call David in from tending sheep. Was this an oversight? An assumption? A judgment call? A deliberate choice? Overlooked by everyone else, handpicked by God. Samuel passes on each of Jesse's sons and then asks, "Are these all the sons you have?" I imagine Jesse with a quizzical expression replying, "There is still the youngest. He is tending the sheep." Surely one who has spent his time taking care of sheep is not the one to take care of a nation. I'll read you that verse. It's actually in 1 Samuel 16, verse 11, and it says, "And Samuel said unto Jesse, Here are all thy children. And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither." Overlooked by everyone else, handpicked by God. As soon as Samuel saw David, he knew he'd found the one. David was anointed to become king, but he was not immediately ushered into the throne. It would be many years before David was recognized by the world. So where did he go after being anointed as king? To a refining school, a government academy, military training? Nope. He went back out to the fields and continued to shepherd his flock. A king to be doing lowly tasks, a future king whose character was refined in the fields of everyday life to prepare him for his calling. How like us, in the midst of smelly, dirty laundry, dirty dishes, snotty noses, misplaced keys, overdue library books, bills, and that birthday gift that still needs to be mailed out, there is training, there is character building, there is an attitude shaping, there is a soul defining, all of which must take place for us to become what God intends. Do you ever feel overlooked by the world? Take heart. We are handpicked by God. We aren't just doing tasks. We are building a legacy. We are shaping God's kingdom. We are in the process of not only discovering our calling, but that of our family as well. And I don't know about you, but it sure does make me look at everyday tasks. Yes, even the smelly laundry in a whole different light. And that just really helped me because we often get caught up in our daily things and we don't see our mission field as for what it is. As a mother, we are here to raise our children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. We have a mission field as moms and wives already, and God's called us for that. God's handpicked us personally for our husband, for our kids. Remember that God handpicked you for the task that you're doing right now, whatever it is. If it's not, necessarily a mother, if it's just a wife, and you're praying for the day that God gives you children. Until then, use that time, because I don't know how many times my mom would tell me when I was a teenager to use that time that God had given me to draw closer to the Lord, to spend more time with the Lord, because once you become a mother, there's so much on you, and so much, people need you, that there's often times where, you don't get a whole lot of time in your Bible and prayer. Use whatever state you're in, whatever time of your life that you're in. Use that. Use it in whatever way God's given you. Use your position that God's put you in, and just do the most with it that you can. If you're a single woman and you're praying for God to bring you that man, his best for you, spend that time in prayer. Spend that time seeking God's face, but also spend it getting a closer relationship with the Lord. Remember, we're handpicked. God handpicked me to be Stanley's wife. God handpicked me to be Jaden and Colton and Bella's mom. And so I am blessed beyond belief. And I take it for granted a lot of times that God's given me the things that I've asked for. But I also don't look at it as, as I should often, that this is the job that God's given me. And it's not just a job, it's a calling. It's something that He wants us to give our everything to. And training children and raising children is just really hard in the day and age that we live in, and to train them right and to teach them right and all of that. But it's definitely a blessing that God would give me the desires of my heart. I prayed for those things and He gave them to me, and I want to spend my days that just basking in that, just enjoying that He gave me what I wanted, and that these are the things that I prayed for and that He's given them to me, and I want to give everything that I have to it. Okay, I think that's going to be all for our video today. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I would love to have you join my channel and stick around. And if you have, I forgot to mention in my devotional, but if you have anything that you would like me to help you pray about, just leave them in the comments and I will definitely add that to my prayer list. I hope that y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one.